Hey, how's it going, everyone? RetroPixel coming at you with a bit of a chat on Mighty Number 9. It has just released this past week, and reception has been pretty poor. This was the Kickstarter project, and again, I'll get into that as well. But I think that this is getting a lot of down dump on it because of the name that's attached to the project, which is Kije Inafune. Uh, Forgive me if I mispronounced that in some way. But, anyways, he coined the phrase upon its release, "It's better than nothing." And that's a pretty shitty way of releasing your product by any means. But we're going to review if it really is better than nothing. As with anything in terms of a crowdfunding, it is a gamble and a risk. If you think that 100% everything that ever hits a Kickstarter or any other kind of crowdfunding site that they're going to deliver on it, no. I'm sorry to say there has been projects in the past that receive sufficient funding and they don't deliver on that promise, and I'm sure it will continue to happen in the future. It is a 100% gamble. You are not guaranteed a damn thing. But past that, like I said, Kije Inafune is attached to the project, and I think that's why it's really getting the backlash that it is. A bad or a terrible or subpar game is still going to be all of those things no matter who developed it. But it's because his name is attached to it, in my opinion, is why people are coming down on it a bit harder. You take a no-name studio with people that you've never heard of, and they put out the exact same title. Yeah, it could still be received in much the same way, but there'd probably be a little bit less hate towards it, because it's sort of like, well, they tried something. But in this case, like I said, with the large name attached to it that people have well known in the industry, I guess people sort of expected more, and fully right so. But from there, really, you got to think to yourselves, at least for the ones that did the minimum backing, much like myself, to get a digital copy, which was $20. And I gotta say, for $20, I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I certainly don't hate it. It could be better by any means, but that could be said about any AAA game, which this obviously was not, but any game in general, or any product in general, to be honest, doesn't have to be video game related, in theory, could always be improved somehow. Much in with this one, I took down a few notes here, just some of the complaints. This isn't all of them. This is just sort of the quick rundown that I could come across in a short period of time with a Google search. Frame rate issues, VSync toggle not working, bloom lighting disabled on Xbox One, real-time reflections broken on Xbox One, weaker texture filtering on PS4, incredibly slow load times on Wii U for a very non-demanding title, and disappointing overall. That's a lot, and like I said, that's just a small amount of what I dug up in terms of people's major complaints, and there are more. But having said that, for $20, I've bought a lot worse. I've bought a lot worse in terms of even shelved games on retail, and they just don't deliver. So for $20, you know what? It's deserving of the backlash that it got. Like, I gotta say, with anything, if someone puts out a crappy product or a subpar product of any sort, they deserve to be called out on it. I totally agree with that. But this is sort of what I expected to get for $20. There's other times when I've been exceedingly happy with my purchase. Take, for example, Rocket League. That, I believe, is less than $20, at least when I bought it. And that's a fantastic game. It's fun, it's great, and me personally, I would have willingly paid a bit more for it now that I've actually owned it and thoroughly enjoyed it. But the people that did submit more money than my $20 tier and a lot of people's $20 base minimum to get a copy of the game. I think there is, what, a $40 tier, a $60, I think 80, and then it just goes up from there. If you didn't get your rewards yet that were on top of the digital copy of the game, you have every right to be more pissed off than everyone else because you've put in more money and did not receive your products at time of launch, if not previous to launch. If it was just things like a t-shirt and plush dolls and whatever, you should have received that stuff before the game even released. I totally agree with that, and you have every right to be pissed off about it. But in general, is it better than nothing? And you know what? I gotta say, it is better than nothing just because the fact that we actually got something. We could have actually gotten sweet fuck all. So in that respect, yeah, he actually is kind of right. It is better than nothing. It's barely better than nothing, but it is delivering on that sort of coined phrase that he recently put out with the game's release. Anyways, that is it from me. Thanks for watching. Have a good one, and I will catch you next time.